It is the 61st annual St. Patrick Parade in Bay City. The parade is one of the largest in the Midwest. There are 125 entries in the parade. I am part of a car club that has their classic cars in the parade. My car is a 1967 GTO convertible with a 400 cubic inch, bored out to 400 HPR, with a Rochester Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor. The car has a Hurst Performance dual-gate shifter. The car is painted Pontiac red, with the engine painted Pontiac blue. The car has a white convertible top, white seats, and carpet. It is a fantastic car with plenty of power and speed. Unfortunately, I am having transmission problems with my car and had to withdraw it from the parade. Hi, my name is Austin James Kelly, AJ for short. My wife's name is Allison Joyce Kelly, or Allie, nickname that her dad gave her, for short. We have been married for 6.5 years. We have 2 children, Amanda, or Mandy for short. She will turn 5 in August, and Andrew, or Drew for short. He will turn 3 in May. We live just outside of Bay City, in Bangor Township. We live in a beautiful 3-bedroom log cabin home. I got the house for a song, through a foreclosure bid process. The house sits on over 2 acres of property. I stand 5 feet 10 inches tall and weigh 180 pounds. I keep myself very fit by working out at local Heath Club. I also have a small workout room in my garage. I'm 30 years old and have brown hair and eyes. My wife Allie is 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighs around 115 to 120 pounds. She has a great figure. She is 28 years old and has auburn hair and green sparkly eyes. I work for Wells Fargo as a financial consultant. I am also a computer expert. Allie works at the biggest law firm in the city as a paralegal or administrative assistant. We both have well-paying jobs. Back to the parade. It is a beautiful day for a parade. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, and just a few clouds in the sky. The winds are calm for the time being. It is a great day for a parade. There is not a whole hell of a lot to do in the month of March in Michigan, so the people turned out in droves to watch the parade. The parade officials guessed that there were around 50,000 people watching the parade. I don't doubt their guess, as the whole route is packed with people watching the parade on this beautiful day. Earlier, I had told my wife that I am going to ride with my friend Jim. He has a 1964 Pontiac Tempest convertible. It almost looks like my car, but I have a little different body style. Just before the parade is to start, another friend, Bill, whose truck is pulling a big float, came up to me. Would I ride with him, just in case something went wrong with the float he is pulling? He asked me. No problem, I would be glad to, I told him. His float is about 6 entries behind the classic car group. I have both my digital camera and my Canon EOS Rebel camera for long-range pictures. I have a telephoto lens on it. It will be fun to watch and take pictures. I walk the whole parade staging area, taking pictures of all the floats and bands. Normally, I don't have a chance to do this, as I am usually getting my car buffed up. 2 p.m., the parade starts and we are almost in the middle of the parade lineup. It takes almost an hour to reach the starting point. The parade seemed to be going slower this year. In front of us is a group of what I would guess are soldiers from the various wars. I am not a war buff, and I couldn't tell what they were from their uniforms. They would stop at each major intersection and fire off their guns. They made a hell of a noise doing that. I saw a number of people jump out of their skins not expecting that noise. Finally, just over 2/3 of the way though the parade route, we came to the house that my wife's law firm is using for their St. Pat's party. I'm to join her there after I finish up with the parade. She is going to pick me up at a parking lot on Water Street, just a couple blocks north of where the parade ends. Just about every house on the parade route is having some type of party, with plenty of food and drinks. The food cooking on the various grills sure did smell good. As we approached the house where my wife's party is located, I scanned the crowd out front by the street for her, but I didn't see her there. I took my Canon camera out to see if I can get some long-range pictures of her. I scanned the porch looking through the telephoto lens, looking for her. I wonder if she went back into the house after the classic cars went by. Just as I almost put the camera down, I noticed some movement on the second-story balcony. I focused the camera on the 2 people up there. I noticed my wife, as she is laughing with a blonde-haired guy. Next thing I know, she has a passionate lip-lock kiss with the guy. I took a few pictures of them. What the hell is she doing kissing that guy? She is a married woman, and a married woman doesn't kiss guys like that, I thought to myself. I noticed that his hands were all over her body. I took a few close-up pictures of that. She pushes his hand out from her, shaking her finger in the no manner, like he is not supposed to do that. She puts her arms around his neck and gives him another lip-locking kiss. This time he has his hands on her back. I took some more pictures of their action. I put my camera down and grabbed my cell phone and gave her a call on her cell phone. I watched through my camera as she pulls the phone out of her pants pocket and looked at the phone caller ID. She just lets my call go to voicemail. I left her a message that I was passing by her party house and that I loved her and will see her shortly. I hope to make her feel guilty with my phone call. I will be screwed if she didn't go back to kissing that scumsucker. By that time, we had moved out of sight of the two of them and her cheating actions. My buddy Bill is talking a mile a minute asking why I was taking so many pictures, and did I see my wife there? By her actions of not answering my cell phone call, I knew things were not looking too good for me. We finished the parade, and Bill dropped me off by the parking lot. I called my wife, and my call went to voicemail. I left her a message that I was done with the parade and waiting for her at the agreed-upon parking lot. I tried again 15 minutes later, and 15 minutes later after that, till an hour was up and no return call. I even sent her a bunch of text messages in between the phone calls, but to no avail, as she never responded. Screw the witch, she is probably screwing that guy, and forgot about me, I said to myself. I could have walked to the party, but then 3 is a crowd. So screw it, I started walking home. About halfway there, and I heard a car horn. Looking around, I saw my buddy Jim driving his Tempest. Usually the car club goes out to eat after the parade. He pulled over, and I ran to the car accepting his offer of a ride home. What the hell? Why are doing walking home? My wife never showed to pick me up? Why didn't you give her a call? I did. My calls went to her voicemail. Do you want me to take you to the party? No, God, it just please take me home. We chatted about cars and the problem with my transmission until we reached my house. I thanked him for the ride and went inside the house. It was about 5 p.m. when I got home. I went into the garage and got into my Jeep and drove to her folks' house to get our children. They were watching them while we were at the parade and the after-parade party. They live just outside of Auburn, about a 20-minute drive from our house. As soon as I left our house, I started to reminisce about our past together. We both were born and raised in Bay County. Allie grew up close to the small city of Auburn. She went to Western High School. Her folks both worked for Dow Chemical in Midland. Her dad is a chemical engineer, and her mom works in Dow corporate headquarters as an administrative assistant. Between them, they both make some very serious money working for Dow. They have a very nice, expensive house outside of Auburn. Allie has one sister and one brother. Both are older and are living in different cities in Michigan. I grew up in Bangor Township and went to John Glenn High School. My folks divorced in my early teen years. Mom works at the hospital as a nurse. Dad has disappeared since the divorce, and I have not heard from him since. We have a nice house in Bangor Township, not as nice as Allie's parents. I have 2 sisters, both older, and they both are living in California. I think Dad lives there also, but I have no proof of my thoughts. I graduated number 3 in my class and went on to the University of Michigan. I studied finance, accounting, and bank security. I continued on to get my master's degree in finance. I am a numbers whiz and a computer geek. I came back home and got a job with Wells Fargo. Allie graduated in the top 5% of her class and went to Wayne State. She studied law. After she graduated, she came back home and got a job with the largest law firm in the Tri-City area, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. The firm has offices in all 3 cities. She works as a paralegal or administrative assistant. She loves to do research on cases that her lawyer group is working on. She keeps talking about taking her bar exam, but so far has not done so. We met in my senior year at Michigan. I am 1 year ahead of her in college. She came with some friends to a party my fraternity was putting on. Somehow we hooked up at the party, and shortly after that we started to date. We became exclusive 6 months later. We planned on getting married shortly after I got my master's degree. A year after I graduated with my master's degree, we got married. Her folks gave us a fully paid honeymoon to Hawaii for 10 days. The reception was held at the DoubleTree Hotel, and we booked a room there for the night. The next day we would fly to Hawaii. We both were so tired from the day's festivities that we fell asleep in each other's arms, without consuming our vows. We woke late the next day, and had to dust hour but to make the flight on time. It sure is a damn long flight to Hawaii, well over 9 hours. We were both pooped by the time we checked into our hotel room. We took a nice nap, and then went down and had a nice dinner in the hotel's outdoor restaurant. After dinner, we took a nice long walk on the beach, splashing each other in the waves. We finished our walk, and it is just starting to get dark. We stopped at the bar to have a nightcap and do some dancing. It was a few hours later before we left the bar to go to our room. Allie went into the bathroom, and I heard the shower running. I turned the lights out and opened the sliding glass door and stepped out onto the balcony. It is so nice and peaceful here, with the fresh, warm ocean air lightly blowing in my face. A full moon is just beginning to peek over the ocean, bathing the area in moonlight. I heard the shower quit running, so she must have just taken a quick rinse. She came out wearing a hotel robe. I needed to go, so I went into the bathroom to relieve myself. I came out and Allie is standing out on the balcony. She must have heard me, because she turned and smiled as she dropped her robe. Allie is stand there in the glow of the moonlight, completely naked. God, she is so beautiful, with her fair complexion. Her shoulder-length auburn hair is blowing lightly in the breeze. Her green eyes just seemed to glow. When I looked at her face, my expression must have signaled the effect she is having on me. "So you approve," she said softly. "I approve. You're so beautiful," I gasped. "I'm yours, all yours," she whispered. I came forward and she wrapped her arms around my neck, her lips on mine, her tongue meeting mine, retreating, advancing with mine. She moved her mouth to my cheek, my neck. She inhaled deeply as my bare chest came into view. "Oh, AJ, you're so well built," she said softly, her bright green eyes looking into my face. She looked into my face, smiling. "So you approve," I laughed. With a giggle, I pick her up and carry her to the bed. Lying next to each other, she pressed herself into me, kissing my ear, my neck. I turned my head to kiss her mouth, deeply, with my arms tightly wrapped around her. "AJ, darling, take me, screw me, that's what I need now," she whispered in my ear. I said nothing. We stared at each other, and then I kissed her softly. We had wild and passionate sex, then she collapsed against my chest. Allie raised her head to whisper, "Oh, AJ, darling, that was fantastic." She rolled off me, and we drifted off to sleep. Couple of years after that, Amanda came into our lives. 2 years after Amanda, Andrew joined our lives. I love my 2 children very much and can't imagine life without them. Back to the present, as I pulled into her folks' driveway, her mother's name is Alice, and her dad's name is Ted, and knew that I would get the 3rd degree from her mother. She is great at asking a lot of questions, just like a machine gun firing. She asks one after another, before you get a chance to even answer. Man, I dreaded going to the house, but I wanted to see and get my kids. So I bit the bullet and rang the doorbell. Alice answered the door and let me in with a puzzled look on her face. "AJ, why are you here so soon? Where is Allie? Why aren't you at the party? Did something happen to Allie? You two aren't fighting, are you? You haven't been drinking, have you?" I think she had to stop to take a breath, and that gave me a chance. Alice, time out, let me say something." She looked at me like she was going to say something, but I gave the timeout signal with hands. "I am here to get the kids, and Allie is okay. She is still at the party having a good time. And no, we did not have a fight, and no, I have not been drinking. I just didn't fit in at that party, and I told her I would get a ride home, and I would go get the kids so she would not have to." She looked at me strangely, but just then my 2 munchkins came running to the kitchen calling Daddy. They both jumped into my arms, and I gave them both a big kiss. "Have you 2 been good for Grandma and Grandpa?" I asked them. They both nodded their heads yes. "Okay, give both Grandma and Grandpa hugs and kisses, and get your stuff. It is time to go home and get ready for bed," I told them. We got home at 7 p.m. They already had supper at their grandparents' house. By the time I got the kids their baths, it's time for them to go to bed. I got myself something to eat and settled down to read the Sunday paper. About 11 p.m., I heard Allie's car as she drove it into the garage. I heard the back door open and slam shut. I could hear her muttering as she walked into the kitchen. She spotted me in the living room watching TV. She came storming in with fire in her eyes and acid dripping off her fangs. "You rotten son of a witch. Why the hell didn't you call me and tell me that you already picked the kids up from my mom's house, you scumsucker?" I stopped there and had to listen to her give me the 3rd degree. "Why are you here? I thought AJ told you he is getting the children. Are you 2 having marriage problems? Are you running around on him? Why wasn't he with you at the party? Jesus Christ, my mother can drive me nuts sometimes," she ranted. "And you scumsucker, you could have at least called me. And just why weren't you at the party? Are we too good for you? You are just a plain a-hole for doing this to me," she further ranted. Hell, she is just like her mother, 1,000 questions. Before I can answer the first one, she hardly ever swears. She must really be pissed. I bit my tongue and replied, "If you looked at your phone, or had it turned on, you would have noticed that I left a message that I am at the house, and I am going to go pick up the kids at your folks' house." Bullshit, I didn't see any messages on my phone. Did you even look? I also called you 4 times to tell you that I am at the parking lot, waiting for you to come get me. I even texted you a few times also. I never saw any messages or texts on my phone. You probably had the wrong number, a-hole. Why didn't you walk or get a ride to the party? I am getting a little pissed at her, and I wasn't thinking straight, and I said the wrong thing which set her off. 2 is company, but 3 is a crowd. What the hell did you say, you a-hole? Are you insinuating that I am doing something wrong? Well, screw you. You a-hole. You can kiss my butt, you scumsucker. You think that I did something wrong? Well, I screwed up again by saying, if the shoe fits, then wear it. She turned purple in the face, and I could almost see steam come out of her ears. Well, screw you, a-hole. Don't bother coming upstairs to my bedroom. You can sleep down here. With that, she stomped up the stairs, never once checking on the kids. I heard the bedroom door slam shut. Well, that went really well. Now what do? I know that she screwed that guy, but I don't have any proof. I went into the den and opened up the sleeper couch. I went to the closet and got some blankets and a pillow. I made my bed and tried to sleep, but I kept replaying tonight's argument over and over in my head. For the next 6 weeks, it is like living in an ice house. She is still very frigid toward me. I am still sleeping in the den, and the only time I went into the master bedroom is to get some clothes to wear. She made enough food to feed herself and the kids. I had to fend for myself. Same with the washing. The only way my clothes got clean is if I washed them. Another thing, she is coming home a little later, a couple of days each week. She has that fresh I was just looked on her face, and her hair is still damp at the back, like from just taking a shower. I am miserable living like this. I have tried to talk to about our problems, but she just ignores me and gives me hateful stares. In May, she starts to thaw out a little bit. She begins to make enough food to feed me also, and she is washing my clothes now. She talks with me a little bit, but I never got an apology for her outburst a month or so ago. I am back to sleeping in our bed, but no sex. Every time I try, she gives me the cold shoulder. Christ, I can't even get a mercy. Hell, I know she is cheating, but I can't prove anything. In May, my company sent a memo around the office about a conference or seminar at Sanibel Island in Florida, just east of Fort Myers. You have to get there, and they pay for room and board. I signed us up and put a down payment on the rooms. I would get the money back when we checked into the hotel. I figured it would be a good time to try and put a spark back into our marriage and give the kids a nice vacation. I am going to surprise Allie and tell her about it over Memorial Weekend. What I did not count on is her company has a semi-formal dinner dance at the country club. They call it a summer kickoff. She mentioned it a couple of times, but I never put 2 and 2 together. And you just knew that the 2 dates will conflict with each other. On Friday afternoon, her folks stopped by and took the kids with them for the Memorial Weekend. They have a cottage on Higgins Lake, not too far from the state park. With the kids gone, we now have some alone time to discuss our situation. Friday night, we went out, just the 2 of us, and had a very nice dinner. She actually gave me a blow-up doll mercy sex Friday night. Saturday morning, after we had breakfast, I had Allie sit down in the living room, and I laid out my plans. Honey, my company is paying for both hotel and meals for at a conference or seminar at Sanibel Island in Florida, just outside of Fort Myers. All we have to do is pay to get there, and any non-hotel expenses that occur. I have already made the deposit on the hotel rooms, which we get back when we arrive at the hotel, and the plane fare reservation for you, me, and the kids, I told her. When are we going? She asked excitedly. We leave June 10th and come home June 14th. All of a sudden, a dark look came across her face. June 13th is when my company has their annual summer dinner or dance at the country club, and we are supposed to go to it. I am not missing that party to go with you on a dumb trip to Florida, she harangued. But Allie, honey, I have paid for everything already. Don't Allie, honey me, get your money back, because there is no way that I am going on that dumb trip and miss my party, she hissed. Finally, I blew my stack. Allie, don't give a rat's shit if you go with us or not. I am going, and I am taking the kids with me, whether you go or not. If you want to go to your damn party, then go. Your employers and fellow employees are nothing but a bunch of snobs anyway, and I never did fit in with them. All they ever did was make me feel unwelcome. I snarled back at her. She looked like a thunder cloud ready to explode. Well, screw you. I will find someone to take me, and I may not come home at all that night, she smirked. Well, what the hell is new about that? I snapped. She looked at me with a shocked look as I got up and went out the back door into the garage. I grabbed a beer from the fridge and got out the rider and began to cut the grass. I figured I needed to get away from her before I smacked her. I am so pissed. It is hard to cut the grass in a straight line. One thing about cutting the grass on the rider is it gives me plenty of time to think about our situation. After pondering our recent discussion, I began to get pissed all over again. The witch always seems to put herself first, before either me or the kids. Well, screw her. I plan on taking the kids to Florida with or without her. If she feels that party is more important to her than her family, then screw it, that is fine by me. I finished up all the yard work, and it is close to lunchtime. I entered the house, and no sign of Allie. I never noticed her car gone when I put the mower away. I went back to the garage, and sure enough, her car is gone. Well, screw the witch. Hope she is gone the rest of the weekend. It sure will a lot more peaceful around here if she is gone. I made myself some lunch and decided that a nap right now sure sounded like a good idea. So I lay down on the couch and soon I am asleep. She came home later in the afternoon with a bunch of packages in her hands, and she went right to the bedroom and closed the door loudly. The rest of the weekend we hardly spoke a word to each other. It is so quiet in the house that you could hear a feather drop. Her mother dropped the kids off late Monday afternoon. That changed the noise level in the house. While she is talking with her mother, I went upstairs to our supposedly bedroom to snoop. I found where she had hidden her packages. She bought a new sexy outfits from Victoria's Secret. In another bag I found a couple new sexy sleepwear from Victoria's Secret. New black cocktail dress is hanging in the closet and new black high heel shoes below the dress in a shoebox. I had thoughts of damaging her new clothes, but then thought better of it and just left things alone. She plans on dressing to let the guys know that she is available to be screwed. I figured that I needed to get some evidence to back up any claim of wrongdoing on her part. Her law firm, I am sure, will protect her. They will eat a small fish like me and spit out the bone when they are done with me. I have a cousin who works for a security firm. Hi, look, it is me, AJ Kelly, I said. Hi, AJ. What is happening? Not a lot, but I need some advice and help, I said, as I proceeded to tell what my problem is. Okay, AJ. I know that my company has some older voice recorders and cameras that we don't use very often. Let me speak to my boss and see what I can do for you, he said. Couple days later, Luke called me back. Hey, AJ, I talked with my boss and he said no problem. He told me what I could take to help you out, he said. Saturday morning, Allie is taking the kids over to her folks' house to swim in their pool. It is supposed to be in the upper 70s, and her folks have a heated pool. She usually leaves around 10 a.m. and gets home in the middle of the afternoon, I told him. Okay, I will be there around 10:30, unless I hear differently from you, he said. Luke showed up right on time, and we had the master bedroom wired for sound and video, same with the living room. I hid a voice recorder next to the kitchen phone. There is not much I can do about her cell phone, but I had an extra recorder for her car. Obviously, I can do nothing if she does her communicating with her lovers from her office. By 1 p.m. we were finished. I slipped Luke a couple $100s for his help. I took the week of our vacation off to get ready for our trip. The kids are very excited to be flying for the first time. Allie is surprising quiet both Monday and Tuesday. There is not a whole bunch of communication between the two of us. Wednesday morning I am loading our luggage into the Jeep. She approached with the kids, giving them both a big hug and kiss. I loaded the kids into their car seats. You know there is still time for you to pack and join us, I said. She just flicked me the bird, so I had to rub it in a little bit. I can't believe that you are missing your children's first airplane flight over going to a party. Screw you, you a hole. I hope the kids give you a rough time, and your vacation is miserable, she barked at me. I got into my Jeep and smiled at her as we started to leave. Don't screw too many guys while I am gone, I shouted. She flicked me the middle finger from both hands, while screaming something that I could not hear. I drove us to the MBS airport in Saginaw. We took the 9:50 flight to Detroit Metro Airport. Our connecting flight to Fort Myers leaves at noon, and we get in at 3:30 p.m. I am so proud of my two kids. They are great troopers and handled their first airplane fight like seasoned pros. We checked into the hotel at 5 p.m. The hotel is great. They have all kinds of entertainment for the kids, including lunch. My two kids were so busy. By 7:30 p.m. they both were in bed sawing locks. The 2-day conference was great, and I enjoyed myself immensely. I never called Allie any of the nights, and she never called us. Friday at the seminar, I met a lady named Beth who is divorced and lives in Iowa. She has two kids, Ben age 5.5 and Barb age 3.5. The 6 of us had dinner Friday night. Beth, we are going to the beach Saturday. Would you and the kids like to join us? I asked. Kids, what do you think? They both said yes. I guess that settles it. We would be glad to join you, she said. We had a great time at the beach. They had a cook shack to get food and drinks. She told me her life story, and I told her mine. I can't believe that your wife would not join you guys on this vacation. Well, she has this important dinner party, which her law firm puts on every June. She seems to put her job before her family. That still doesn't make it right. No mother would put her job before her children, especially when they are going on their first airplane flight. Well, I guess when she is the company 304, she has to stay and pleasure her bosses. Oh my God, are you sure? No, I am still gathering evidence, but her actions sure paint that type of picture. We got back to the hotel, and both sets of kids wanted to go to the pool for a while. After our swim in the pool, we went to our separate rooms to change for dinner. After dinner, we said goodnight to Beth and her kids, and we went up to our room. My kids were pooped and in bed by 7:30 p.m. I would like to say after my kids went asleep that I went to Beth's room and we screwed our brains out. But that never happened. I got up early and packed our bags. We met Beth and her children for breakfast Sunday morning. After breakfast, we said our goodbyes. I drove to the airport and we boarded our plane for the return trip home. We walked into the house at 5 p.m. I had the shit shocked out of me. There is Allie waiting for us in the house. She completely ignored me, and neither did she help with the kids' bags. She grabbed the two kids and asked them all about the trip. It kind of pissed me off, but I kept my mouth shut. We ordered pizza for dinner, and after dinner she got the kids ready for bed. She tucked them in and went to the master bedroom, closing the door behind her. I got the message real clear. Don't screw with me. I went into my den or office to see if my cameras or recorders picked up anything. I was sadly disappointed, as both did not have any information that would help me. Things were quiet for the rest of the month. I caught a break a couple of weeks after the 4th of July weekend. The recorder in her car picked up her side of a phone conversation. Her firm would be attending a conference in Traverse City. They would be staying at the Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Hi, Luke. Yo, it is me, AJ. How you doing, man? Hey, Allie's law firm is going to Traverse City for a conference the 3rd week of August. Do you think that your company could bug her room for me? I asked. Let me ask my boss how much and if we would have any problems doing something like that. I will give you a call when I find out anything, he said. About a week later, I receive a call from Luke. Hi, AJ. Luke here. My boss said no problem, and we can bug more if you have the names of those people that you would like us to bug their room. He said the cost would be $1,000 a room, Luke told me. I had the cash so that part didn't bother me, but getting the information that he needed on who would be attending might be a bit harder. Okay, Luke, no problem on the price. I will see what I can do about getting an attendance list of who is going, I said. I got a break. The first weekend in August, Allie brought her briefcase home with her. Saturday late morning, she went to visit her parents. She took the kids with her so they could go swimming. While they were gone, I snooped in her briefcase. Inside is the itinerary for the conference, an attendance list showing who is coming from each company. It appears that the 3 partners, Jack McCoy, Dan Fielding, and Arnie Becker, and her immediate boss Don Johnson, as well as a couple of other junior partners from the other offices. I noticed that none of the attendees were taking their spouses. I took the papers to my office and scanned them. I transferred the scan lists to my computer. I checked the names of the ones I wanted their rooms bugged and emailed them to Luke. I put the papers back into her briefcase. Luke emailed me back saying he got the lists, and Monday he would give them to his boss. For the next couple of weeks, Allie is all lovey-dovey. She even gave me few awful mercy sex. The conference starts on Monday and concludes on Friday. She is leaving Sunday afternoon and returning home on Saturday sometime. Saturday afternoon, the day before she was to leave, Luke called me. Hi, AJ. We have their rooms bugged for both video and audio, he said. Wow, so soon. How did you know which rooms? I asked. AJ, some things are best left unsaid, he told me. Okay, thanks for letting me know, and I look forward to seeing the results. Thanks for your help, I said. No problem, AJ. I will get with you when this is done, he said. We said our goodbyes. During the week that Allie is gone, I dropped the kids off to daycare on the way to work and picked them up on the way home. It is an extremely nerve-wracking week. She never called home once to talk with either me or the kids. I guess she is having too good of a time with her playmates. She arrived home just after lunch Saturday and basically slept Saturday afternoon and night and most of Sunday morning, finally getting up after lunchtime. She never said a word about the conference. Few days later, Luke gave me a call. Hi, AJ. The report on Allie's activities last week will be ready Friday. The report includes both video and audio discs. And AJ, I am sorry, man, but the discs don't paint a pretty picture for you, he said. Thanks, Luke. I appreciated what you guys did for me, and I guess it is up to me to take the information and decide on what to do with it, I replied. Luke and I met for lunch Friday, and he passed over the report to me, including the 2 discs. The following weekend is Labor Day holiday, and Allie has been hinting that we should take the kids for a holiday outing. I don't know. I am sure that once I review the report and watch the discs, that any type of jovial feels that I might have for her will probably vanish. I didn't get a chance to look the report over during the weekend. Saturday I had yard work to do, and Saturday night her folks and my mom came over for dinner and visited with us and the kids. Sunday I did things with the kids. I really didn't want to look at it Sunday night, so I took it to work with me Monday. What a mistake that was. After reading the report and watching and listening to the 2 discs, I wasn't worth a shit the rest of the day. I don't think that she ever attended any of the conference. She was so busy servicing the 3 partners, Jack McCoy, Dan Fielding, and Arnie Becker, and her immediate boss Don Johnson. It's no wonder why she was so tired when she got home Saturday afternoon. The video did not hurt me as much as the audio did. I could not believe what they planned to do to me. They, all 5 of them, ran me down pretty good. They had fun making me a cuck, and how stupid I was about the whole affair. The part that hurt the most was her conversation with Don Johnson, her boss. "I want to really hurt your husband," he said. "What do you want to do to him?" I heard her ask. "I want you to have my baby." "What?" "I want you to stop taking your birth control pills, and next month stop screwing him. I am to be your only partner till you get pregnant. This way we can make him a true cuck and have him raise our child." "Oh, that sounds exciting. I will stop taking my pills right now. My period starts next week, and by the middle of September, I should be ready to conceive your child." I had heard enough. It's time to start planning on how to dump this marriage, but save my 2 kids. I don't want to give them up. I need a plan. Think, dummy, think. It took me a while, but I finally came up with a plan. Or I guess it is a plan. Anyway, it is a list of what I need to do to protect myself for this mess she put me into. I came up with a 6-point plan in no particular order. 1. I need to make sure that I get my 2 kids. 2. I need to protect my assets. 3. I need to get out of Dodge, a new place to go, a new job. 4. Protect myself from being tracked down. 5. Burn the witch. 6. Need a real good lawyer. The first thing that I did is to make some copies of the report and the discs. I kept one, put one in my new safety deposit box at the bank, and made a copy for my attorney. Next up is to search for a real good lawyer. Allie works for the best law firm in the Tri-City area. Her firm's name is Saginaw Bay Law Firm. They had 4 partners at one time, but a dispute between partners on which direction the firm should go, ending up having the other 3 to buy out the 4th partner. The lawyer that I found is that 4th partner, Ben Matlock. I made an appointment to meet with Mr. Matlock at 4 p.m. on the Wednesday after the Labor Day weekend. Now I had the whole holiday weekend to try and stay away from Allie, yet not make her suspicious, and tip my hand that I knew what is going on with her and her lovers. Friday afternoon on the way home, I stopped at the drugstore and got some Ipecac to make me throw up. I then stopped and got some chicken nuggets and wolfed them down. I drank the Ipecac, and in 30 minutes or so I vomited. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for me, I puked all over Allie. Boy, was she pissed. I was sick for 2 days after drinking that awful shit. "Seeing how you are sick, I am taking the kids and meeting my parents at their cabin at Higgins Lake. You can just stay here and rest," she said. Wednesday afternoon, I am sitting in Ben Matlock's office waiting for my appointment. Finally, his secretary showed me into his office. He rose to shake my hand. "Mr. Matlock, my name is Austin James Kelly, but everyone calls me AJ, and I would appreciate if you would also," I said. "Thank you, AJ, just call me Ben. Now how can I be of some service to you?" Ben, my wife, works for Saginaw Bay Law Firm. She has been carrying on an affair with her boss Don Johnson and the 3 partners. "I have for you a copy of the PI report and copy of the video and audio disc," I said. His eyes light up like saucers. "Let me see what you have, AJ." I handed him his copy of the report and discs. He spent some time reading the PI report and then walked over to his TV, turned it on, and put the video disc into the DVD player in his TV. He watched the video and then played the audio disc before ejecting the disc and turning off the TV. He walked back to his desk and sat down without saying a word so far. He sat there for a few minutes deep in thought before he looked up at me. "I will take your case at no cost to you. I have been waiting a long time for something like this to happen, where I might be able to extract some type of revenge on my former partners," he said. Ben reminded me of one of those good old Southern boys. He had a slight Southern accent, a friendly smile that light up his face. He is the type of guy that would always make you feel welcome at his house. I sure hope there is a shark under those friendly features. "Ben, I want you to get all the paperwork ready to go, but I don't want to pull the trigger until November or December time frame," I told him. "Okay, why is that?" "Well, for a number of reasons. First, I want to make sure that she is pregnant with Don's kid. Second reason is I am planning on getting out of here, and I need to find a new job and place to live. Third reason is I am getting my finances protected. This will all take some time to do, and I want to make sure it is done correctly. When I leave, I plan on taking my 2 children with me," I said. "Okay, I will get the paperwork completed, and then just sit on it until you give me the word," he said. September just dragged. It is tough to play stupid when you know what is going to happen. One good thing is Mandy starts kindergarten this month. I just can't believe how my little girl is growing up on me. Sex with Allie has stopped, but I knew that was going to happen. Although she is friendly towards me and tries to act like we are a lovey-dovey family, I can see through her act. The first week in October, I am taking the trash out and noticed a home pregnancy test kit. I didn't find the test strips. I wonder if she tested positive. I will know shortly if she attacks me wanting sex. A few days later, I came home to no kids. The table set with her finest tableware, candles light in the holders, and the house smelling good with my favorite meal. The game is afoot. Thankfully, I had my trusty sidearm ready and waiting for me. My bottle of Ipecac. Oh man, what a waste of a good meal I am going to make. Lai came walking out of the kitchen. She is dressed to the nines. She wraps her arms around my neck and gives me a sizzling kiss with some tongue action. Hi lover, I am cooking your favorite meal. The kids are at my folks for the weekend. I thought this would be a good time to rekindle our marriage. Dinner will be ready in 15 minutes. Why don't you go take a shower and put on a fresh change of clothes, she said. I went up and shaved and showered and put on some clean clothes. I came downstairs to a wonderful dinner. She served one of my favorite meals, pot roast, where the meat just falls apart, with roasted carrots and potatoes with gravy and a nice salad. She had apple pie with ice cream for dessert. I loaded my plate with meat potatoes and carrots, and I layered the gravy over all of the food. The dinner is fabulous and tasted great. I sure hope it tastes as good coming up as it did going down. I helped her clear the table and do the dishes. While she is finishing up in the kitchen, I took the kitchen trash out in the garage and got my trusty sidearm ready to drink. I chugged the liquid in the bottle down. Damn, I could almost feel the shit starting to work on my stomach. I hid the empty bottle in the trash and walked back into the house. Lai is in the living room with the lights turned almost off, with soft music coming for the stereo set. She is sitting on the couch. When she sees me, she gets up and we start to dance slowly to the music for a while. We kiss softly as we make our way over to the couch. She stops and drops her dress, and she is naked, her high heel shoes. She smiles seductively at me as she pulls me down to the couch. We kiss with plenty of tongue action. Suddenly, I feel a gut-wrenching pain in my stomach. Wham, the pain hits again, and I am up rushing for the bathroom. I just make it as my dinner comes rushing back up the same tube that it went down in. I will guarantee you that it does not taste as good coming back up. I kneel there retching into the porcelain throne as my stomach empties its contents. Ali comes into the bathroom to see what the matter with me is. She has her dress back on. AJ, what is the matter with you? This is the second time that you have gotten sick with me in the last couple of months, she said. I don't know. Maybe it was something that I ate for lunch. Oh God, I feel sick to my stomach, I moaned. Maybe I should take you up to emergency and have them check you out. No, just let me die here in peace. You are not going to die. It sure feels like it. I think I puked my stomach into the toilet. Will you look and see if my stomach is in the toilet, please? Oh, AJ, that is so gross. You did not throw up your stomach, and I will not look in that disgusting mess you made in the toilet for anything. Are you done yet? I just moaned as I flushed the toilet. Ali helped me upstairs to our bed, where I ever so gently lowered myself down into bed. 3 more times in the next few hours, I got up to go puke in the bathroom toilet. Needless to say, there was no sex over the weekend. Matter of fact, she left Saturday night to stay at her parents' house, coming home Sunday late afternoon with kids. Ali tried her best to get me to screw her the rest of the week, but I pleaded a sick stomach and begged off. She finally gave up trying. Once I knew she was past her fertile period, I didn't really care if she got off. In November, she tried the same thing, but I lucked out and had to go out of town for a conference for work during the time of fertile period. She did try to screw me. I think she quit trying after that, thinking that she is past any time frame of me being the father of her child. They must have gone to plan B, whatever that might be. Right after Christmas, her company is sending all their employees who want to go on a cruise. The cruise included spouses and children. She came home just before Thanksgiving, all smiles. My company has booked a cruise for all the workers, and I am going and I am taking the kids with me on this cruise, she told me. Aren't spouses invited on this cruise? I asked. Yes, but you are not coming with us. You had your vacation with the kids last summer in Florida, she said. Bullshit, if the kids go, then I should go. I snapped at her. You a hole. Why do you always screw things up for me? I want some alone time with my children, and this is a good time for it, she seethed. We fought the whole Thanksgiving weekend over this issue. She took the kids to her folks for Thanksgiving Day, and I went to my mom's house for dinner. I think that both families knew there are some serious issues with our marriage. Screw it. While she is on the cruise, I plan to make my escape with the kids. There is no way that she is taking them on this cruise. I have most of my money scattered in offshore bank accounts. I have a job offer from a Swiss bank firm. It is time to make my move. I need to talk with Ben about what I want done. I set up an appointment with Ben the second week of December. His secretary showed me into his office. We exchanged greetings. Well, have you decided on what you want to do? he asked. Yes, Ben, she is going on a cruise December 27th and is coming home on January 2nd. I plan to leave during that week. I have my finances taken care of and a job at a Swiss bank and a place to stay in Switzerland. I have Mandy enrolled in a school there and a nanny to watch Drew while I work. Okay, so what do you want me to do? I want you to set up a meeting with all the partners, Don Johnson and Allie, on Monday, January 4th. Tell them it is very important for everyone to be at this meeting. Scare them into it any way that you can. I want you to give each of them a copy of the PI report, copies of both discs, and copy of the divorce papers. All right, I can do that. What else do you want to tell them? I gave Ben a list of my terms to be attached to the divorce papers. The terms were as follows. 1. Full custody of the children, with very limited visitation, if any, and only if they are okayed by me. 2. No harassment by either the Saginaw Bay law firm, SBLF, or Allie. I want to be left alone. 3. SBLF must keep Allie employed. She must maintain at least her current job and pay scale. 4. SBLF must pay off her house, and if she stays there, pay the utility bills and taxes. 5. SBLF must pay the hospital and doctor bills for Allie and the baby. 6. SBLF must set up a trust fund for the baby to take care of its needs, also set up a college fund. 7. SBLF must help her recover financially from the divorce. 8. Allie is to have no contact with my family unless it is initiated by them. 9. SBLF is to pay your fee for being my lawyer, and also any outstanding debts they might owe you. 10. SBLF will pay me $200,000 as a penalty for damaging my marriage. Yeah, I know. Where is Burn the witch that I talked about earlier in this chapter? Well, over time my anger moved from Allie to SBLF. I figured that they deserve to shoulder the burden. I figure taking away her 2 children will be punishment enough. Call me sentimental, but somewhere between my heart there still is a place for her, and that place still has some love left in it. Ben read and reread my list of terms. I don't know if this will fly through the court system. Some judge may just throw this whole thing out the window. Well, I guess it is up to you and the boys from SBLF to make sure that this goes through the court system as quickly as possible. The rest of December just flew by. I am getting my stuff squared away. What I did not want I sold. I packed a bunch of mine and the kids' stuff and had them shipped to Geneva, Switzerland. The bank got me a place on the Lou-Rhone River. Allie never noticed a thing. Finally, the week before Christmas, she snapped at me, "Find you a hole. I will go by myself, and you explain to the kids why they missed out going on a cruise." December 27th, Allie left for her company cruise. She gave the kids a big hug goodbye and never said a word to me. As soon as she left, I got the kids into packing mode. I had already shipped a lot of our stuff, so we did not have to pack much for the plane ride. On December 30th, we board the plane bound for our new home and new life. I left Allie a note telling her that we would be back Monday night, knowing that Ben had set up the meeting with the 5 of them for 10 a.m. Monday morning at 10 a.m., Ben is escorted into SBLF conference room. Besides Ben and Allie, there were the 3 partners Jack McCoy, Dan Fielding, and Arnie Becker, and Allie's boss Don Johnson. "Well, Ben, we are all here. What is it that is so important that you need to talk with all of us?" Dan Fielding said. "Well, I am here representing Austin James Kelly in his divorce from Allison Joyce Kelly," Ben said. Allie gave a loud gasp as the rest tried to all talk at once. "Ben, what is going on here? Why are we all here for a divorce case? This should be handled between you and whoever Allie gets for an attorney," Dan said. "Well, you might be right, Dan, but you see there is a whole lot more here at stake than just a simple divorce. I have in my custody some information that needs to be reviewed by all 5 of you. I think that a few days should be enough for you all to review this information. Let's say that we all meet back here Friday morning at 10 a.m. Ben said as he passed out the envelopes with my demands, the PI report, pictures, and the 2 discs. Also included were the divorce papers. If you have any question or need me for something, you know my phone number. If I don't hear anything, I will meet you all Friday morning 10 a.m., Ben said as he got up to leave. On Friday at 10 a.m., Ben walked into SBLF office for his appointment. The secretary ushered him into Dan Fielding's office. Dan, is it just you and me for this meeting?" Ben said. "Let's stop the posturing, Ben. All this evidence that you have is inadmissible in court, and you know it." "Maybe so, Dan, maybe so, but I don't control this information. AJ does. He told me that he has it all set up so the information that I gave you will be made public, including all of your wives. That includes your client list and media outlets. Is this what you want, Dan? If that happens, then Ben, I will sue you and Mr. Kelly. I will break both of you in half." Dan, I don't control what happens with that information. Only Mr. Kelly does. And he doesn't care. It seems that your firm broke up his marriage by making his wife the company 304. He will release that information, and you can do whatever you want to do. But the damage will be done. Okay, Ben, where do we go from here? Do you talk for the other four? Yes, we all agreed that I would be lead counsel on this matter. You read his list of demands. Also, he wants this divorce rushed through the courts. That is something that we both can make happen. Once the divorce is final, the rest of this will blow over. What assurance do I have that the information will never be released? I don't have an answer for that question. I know that he is using the information as protection against retribution that you might take. The divorce flew the courts, and for the next year nobody bothered me. Over the next few years, Mom came out to visit, and one year I had Allie's parents came to visit. After a couple of years after the divorce, I met a nice widow, Amber, who had one daughter, Alexis, a year younger than Mandy. We got married, and a couple years later she gave birth to twins, a girl named Ashley and a boy named Albert. I got a letter from Allie's parents saying that Allie would like to visit her children, and would it be okay if they could bring her and her daughter Alice with them on their next visit? What can I say? It has been over 5 years, and I guess that my anger has just about disappeared. She has not seen her 2 children in over 5 years, just pictures that I send to my mom, or the ones her folks take when they are here. So being the good, kind-hearted guy that I am, and I discussed the situation with my wife. I got her okay to let Allie come and see her 2 children. I called Allie's parents and told that it is okay by both Amber and I for them to bring Allie and Alice with them the next time they visit. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.